So now we move into the input section of my presentation, and this is the chance for you to absorb all the content that surrounds Disney World. So I titled this section, Am I Looking for a Walt Disney World Vacation? And my answer to this question would always be yes. So in order to understand Disney World, you have to understand Walt Disney himself. Walt Disney was born on December 5th, 1901 in Chicago, Illinois. I actually didn't know that until I was doing research on this project, and I found out that he was born about 5 minutes from where I currently live, so that's pretty exciting. From there, Walt moved out to Hollywood, and he developed a character named Mickey Mouse, who we all know and love today. Mickey Mouse was developed in 1928, and the short film Steamboat Willie, which a lot of people attribute to being Walt's first animated cartoon, actually was his third. But the significance behind Steamboat Willie is that it was the first ever animated cartoon that was synced along with sound. Now, obviously, as Walt's popularity grew, he wanted to continue to innovate, continue to grow his company. And the way that he saw this happening was by developing a place where both kids and adults could go and enjoy themselves at the same time. Out of this idea sprouted a little park that we know as Disneyland in a small orange grove in Anaheim, California. Disneyland was opened in July 17th, 1955, and from there Walt was obsessed with the idea of reaching more people with this vision of creating this place for both children and adults to go and enjoy themselves. See, the problem for Walt was that about 5% of the people who visited Disneyland were from the East Coast, but about 75% of the U.S. population lived on the other side of the Mississippi. So he was trying to find a way to bridge this gap and be able to reach those people who were living on the East Coast in an area where it was more difficult to get across the country. And this dream was realized as he was flying over a small area south of Orlando, Florida, a place where he knew immediately that he wanted to put an amusement park. Now, an interesting story that I just had recently heard and I just read about was exactly how he bought all the land for Disney World. Now, obviously, with Disneyland being such a huge success, if Walt's name was ever tied with anything like another Disneyland, the price for land would just be astronomical. So the Walt Disney Company actually did something a little sneaky. They created a bunch of different shadow corporations, a bunch of different dummy corporations, and they acquired land through all those different corporations. And they actually were so successful that they didn't find out that it was actually the Walt Disney Company buying this land until after all the land was bought up and they started building. So it's pretty impressive, good strategy, perhaps not the most ethical, but that's okay. The unfortunate part about the construction of Walt Disney World is that Walt ended up dying before Walt Disney World was completed. Walt died in 1966. And how this changed the face of Disney World is that originally Walt wanted to build Epcot Center, which was a futuristic land that met the world of today. But being that he died, his brother Roy took over the construction of Disney World, and he decided that they would do something similar to Disneyland just because they knew that worked, they knew it was safe, they knew how to do it. So they decided to go upon or work upon the Magic Kingdom before they built Epcot Center.